So what I wanted to get into is this story that has been, I saw it, I think I saw it when I was flying back yesterday and did a couple tweets about it. But in the last 24 hours, this story has really blown up. This is out of a Gold's Gym out of Los Angeles in California. And the woman who has blown this story up is named Tish Hyman, which is funny. Hyman, very female. She basically, like all of us, like many of us feel, sick of seeing dudes in women's locker rooms. And she saw one recently, blew up at him, and then went ahead and loudly went out kind of into the lobby area talking about it, and lost her membership to the gym as a result. So I'm going to try and tell this story as sequentially as I can. This is the guy in question. His name is in here somewhere. It's probably in one of these other tweets that I'm going to pull up, but she recorded a little bit of the interaction she had with this dude. So this she posted 2 days ago, but it was late at night. It was like almost midnight 2 days ago. So people weren't really hearing about it till Tuesday. No, today is Tuesday. They weren't hearing about it till Monday. So here she's tweeting out, "Today he saw me walk into the women's locker room, followed me in, and called me a bitch. I ran out into the locker room crying and screaming. This is why we can't be quiet, because people need to know what's happening. Thank you to the men who helped me today."
Did you tell me or not that women like to see dick?
He said, "Did you tell me or not that?" Apparently he was in the locker room saying straight women love to see dick or something like that, or women love to see it. Just something vulgar. He's not even trying to look female. Like, I'm sorry, he's doing the least. He has earrings on, and that's it. Just earrings. Is that all it takes to be trans nowadays? Is just earrings? Echo. It does look like Disparu.
Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that shit. And the woman told you. He assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. No.
That's fine. I want the video.
You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman and I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay. I'm not causing.
How are you?
This man is so cocky. No pun intended. Very cocky. Knows that it's legal in California to be in the women's locker room. So I'm going to play the moment that she goes out into the lobby of the gym. I guess it's like near a coffee shop or near a bar or something. So she goes out into the lobby area after this interaction and loudly is telling people what the heck just happened.
Grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know. Fuck. Everybody saw that man in the fucking locker room. No one's saying shit. And I'm fucking done with it. It's fucking stupid. It's dangerous. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. I'm the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room. And that goes to grown men.
Yeah. She's 100% right. She knows she's being filmed. She doesn't care. First of all, great body on Tish. Absolutely just crushing it. Like, naturally good body, but you can tell she works on it. Great. I haven't seen Celsius energy drink come out and disavow one way or the other, but great ad for Celsius energy drink here. Tish, by the way, not that it matters, but it does a little, a lesbian. So in 2025, we've reached a point where a black lesbian, the comfort of a black lesbian, is inferior to the comfort of a white man who has like an autogynephilic fetish. This is Riley Gaines' tweet. If we saw boldness like this back in 2020, this insanity would never have been allowed to fester like it has. God bless you for speaking the truth loudly. Listen to Tish. And then Tish responds, "This is what U.S. women need to do. This madness has gone far enough. We will rise against this and win." I love that. I love that. So she, the gym freaking kicks her out. You know what I had wished in that video that I had seen? I wish some other people in the back were like having her back. I would have liked some other women in the room to like start clapping. Not that you have to be, because people are very afraid to voice their opinion publicly like that. People are afraid to tweet. So of course they're going to be afraid to like publicly be out there saying their feelings, with their faces in public, knowing of course they can be filmed at any time. Everyone's afraid of just losing their damn jobs because cancel culture is what it is. But it would have been nice to see a few people like clapping on, yes-anding her, So she gets kicked out of Gold's gym. She goes to her car and then films this video, recounting the whole experience. Yeah. The Gold's gym was in LA. And so here's what she went to her car and immediately started filming.
I just had the worst experience ever. I think trans women are going into the women's locker room and not really caring about how women feel about it. And it's really hurtful, yo. Like, how you gonna say you want to be a woman or that you are a woman, but you don't give a fuck how women feel? Today I was naked in the locker room. I turn around and there's a man there in boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here. Maybe I missed a sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't fucking talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm fucking pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? So the girls are walking in and they're seeing the commotion and they actually chime in and say, yo, I don't know why he's in here. He's not supposed to be in here. And then I talk to the people that work at Gold's Gym and they don't really have anything to do. They just like, oh, we can file a report about it, incident report. What the fuck is going on? Like, listen, how can you say you're a woman or you want to be a woman and you don't care how women feel? That's nothing more manly than...
Because it has never been about caring how women feel. These guys are either they're straight up autogynephiliacs or they have a crazy ego and they're taking advantage of the law. They're taking advantage of the laws that are in place in California and many other places like it. They're not in there. It used to be with the gay rights movement, all they wanted was to fit in. All they wanted was the same rights as everybody else. Now they have that. And then when the trans movement sort of first came out on the scene, it was similar. All we want to do is fit in, be ourselves. And it quickly has been taken over by these perverts who do not want to fit in, as you can tell by the lack of effort. This dude just had a pair of earrings, probably not on any kind of hormones. Not even wearing a set of fake boobs, not doing anything to look female. So it has nothing to do with trying to fit in. And in fact, it's precisely about sticking out. These men want to be noticed. They want to be seen. They want to piss people off. They want women to see them in the locker room. And yeah, they're kind of throwing their weight around because they know there's nothing that can be done. They want to be noticed because it gets them off. And it's almost like they want people to say something to them so that they can cry victim. And these gyms don't do that. Unfortunately, the law has put business owners in a place where these freaking perverts can sue if they consider themselves in any way discriminated against. But just like a lot of laws and a lot of kind of leftist culture, the people, like the laws have not caught up to how people actually feel. So you have regular people like Tish here just being like, yeah, we're fed up with it. We're not doing it anymore. We're not pretending that you're one of us. We're not pretending that we're comfortable. We're going to speak out and we want you the hell away from us because it's creepy. So it's not about making women feel comfortable. It's specifically about making women feel uncomfortable. That's why you have that other Lily dude, I forget his name, Lily Tino, the one that likes to go to Disney World and likes to like take pictures inside of women's bathrooms, barely tries to look female at all because it's not about passing as female. It's about throwing your weight around and having the power to silence women and having the power to make women feel uncomfortable at the mercy of your fetish, your kink, what makes your pee-pee hard. So it is a sad time for women.
And not giving a fuck about how women feel. I'd like to think. And I get it. Like, everybody has their own things, and I don't want to say that I know everything about gay rights or trans rights. I'm a lesbian. I've been a lesbian my whole life. I treat people how I want to be treated regardless of whatever their sexual orientation is or whatever they decide. So I'm not transphobic, and I'm not homophobic. I'm not straightophobic. I'm not racist. None of these things. I just believe in treating people how I want to be treated. Why do you guys think it's okay for men to be in the women's restroom? And like, when is the cutoff point? Is it like, oh, you cut off your penis, you can come in here? Why aren't women making the laws? And if you really want to fucking be safe and...
I looked into the law, and you do not need... They can't ask for any proof of your gender. You don't even have to look a certain way. The laws are written so that nobody can question you. So our frustration is valid.
Feel good. Why don't we just make trans restrooms? Because it ain't right. The way I feel right now.
By the way, trans restrooms will never be a solution to this problem. For two reasons. Trans women, aka men, will not use a trans restroom. The whole point of it is to use the women's restroom, to use the women's locker room. So a trans locker room or a trans restroom is going to go unused. You might as well just make it like one of those single units, like not quite a family changing room, or even if you called it like a tranny changing room, you might as well just have a single unit for anybody to use, really, because these men are not going to go into a trans locker room. The whole point of it is to go into the women's locker room. They do it to make people feel uncomfortable because they get off on it. So creating a space for them will not work. They will not use it. And it's not going to be something I think they can get funding for, because the laws have been written that you can use the restroom of whatever gender that you feel like you are that day when you wake up, without proof of anything.
I don't give a fuck, bro. If you've never been a little girl who been touched or been through some shit, you won't understand that feeling. And you've never been a little girl.
First of all, that last 10 seconds breaks my heart, because that kind of gets to the crux of the issue, right? Like, that's, so, we don't know this woman's history, but the fact that she is bringing that up as a reason why this triggers so many women and makes women, real actual women, feel uncomfortable is a very valid reason. And yeah, the fact that Tish is bringing this up, maybe there is a good chance that this happened to her. And seeing a naked man in a locker room, seeing her naked, is bringing a lot of that up. Hey, maybe that happened to her, and maybe that's why she's a lesbian, because she had a traumatic experience as a kid involving a man, and it made her want to get the hell as far away as possible from men as she could. And now she's a lesbian. I think that's how a lot of lesbians sort of come to be. Unfortunately, it seems like, weirdly, abuse has different effects. Like, if a little girl is abused, maybe she'll end up as a lesbian and like really hating men. And sometimes if a little boy is abused by a man, then they grow up to be gay, almost to kind of like justify the abuse. I'm not saying that's how all gay people come to be. I've just seen a lot of examples of it. I know that's how some people get to be where they are. So yeah, my heart breaks for this lady. Hi, deranged lunatic. Apparently New York has forgotten 9/11. Yeah, exactly. They never forget. Only lasted 14 years. That's sad. I know we're not going to talk about New York City today. Yeah. That's why she's a lesbo. It could be. Yeah, she's not trying to be around men. And really, like, the locker room, the restroom is one of the few places that are women's only spaces really left anywhere. So, but no, we can't preserve that, because we have to make men with a fetish feel comfortable. And that's what they've done. They've wormed their way into being a victim group. And they want the same treatment as gays and lesbians, as the friggin' handicapped, right? When really they're just men with fetishes. And they knew what they were doing. Chrissy once claimed she was bisexual on a stream. I probably was making a joke or something. We'll have to check the archives for that. I do have some jokes about bisexual people. Okay. So she films this video in her car. Then she filmed another video in her car, which I believe came out right after. Wise words of truth and unity from Tish Hyman. Again, and it's unfortunate that she even had to preface this by saying, I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. I don't actually, and that was my favorite line. Like, I don't even think about trans people. Like, I just live my life, you know?
Now I'm not telling anybody because I'm neither. I'm just a woman who's standing up for women's rights. And I don't give a fuck what you are. If you're a Republican, a Democrat, I don't care if you support Trump or Kamala. I don't give a fuck. All I need is people to come together for one thing. It's to help women, to save women. Women! Women! Not fucking men with dicks and dresses. Women! Okay? Now, what do I think about trans? I don't fucking think about trans! I'm a fucking lady. I don't give a shit about trans. I don't give two fucks about if a person wants to be this or that or what the fuck ever, bro. But you know what? Do that shit outside the locker fucking room. You fucking men, do it out of the locker room. It doesn't fucking matter if you a woman in your fucking head. In fucking reality, you look like a fucking man to me and to every other woman, and we don't care.
Oh, I love it. She's mad. She's like, this is really hitting close to home for her. And it should, and it really, unfortunately, like, it shouldn't take you being abused as a child for you to be outspoken on this issue. But for some folks, like, the upset and the rage you feel trumps that experience, and whatever voice you have being like, oh, I don't know, don't be difficult, don't make a scene. And it's like, nope, that's, her feelings are just past that point. And I bet she probably put that video out. Let's see, did she do that after her first one? Yeah, I think because she's wearing a black tank top in that first car video, and now she's wearing a white one. So maybe she filmed this like the next day, probably when she saw, I'm sure mostly it's conservatives and centrists having her back online, certainly from what I've been seeing. Because if you're a liberal, you can't support, isn't that funny? If you're a liberal, you can't be seen supporting this black lesbian because you don't want to look transphobic, because the liberals have painted themselves into a corner, and it's just getting smaller and smaller. So you can't be seen supporting this black lesbian on the locker room issue with trans people. Or else you don't want to be deemed transphobic. So the majority of the support she's getting is from people on the right and in the middle. And she's probably a liberal herself, or at least a Democrat. So she's got to make another video saying like, hey, I'm not trying to make this political. I'm not telling people to be Republican by having passionate feelings about this issue. And unfortunately, this should not be a political issue. This should be an issue of what's right and what's wrong. Because that's what it is. It's about right and wrong. Let me share this tweet from Buck Angel. Attention trans activists. It's all going to take you out hard. Women are done with you. And here's another video. I'm not sure where exactly this is from, but it's another video of a guy in a women's restroom, and he gets verbally attacked, as he should, by a bunch of women, which you love to see. Anyone else starting to feel less fatigued lately thanks to all these base Shaniquas popping off? This funny tweet. But here, they find this guy in a women's bathroom. I don't know, with his shorts off. Like, what the hell is he doing? I'm sure we know what he's doing. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. But I love it. They catch him, they open the door, and there's a bunch of them, and they're relentless. They film him, and they say, get the hell out of here. You dead ass? You dead ass? You dead ass. I'll translate. You dead ass means, are you serious? Are you serious? Because apparently that bottle that he puts in his pocket here, that we see him put in his pocket, is a bottle of lube. Look at this. He brought this is not just a small travel friendly, travel size lube. This is a straight up full bottle. This is like a 6-month supply that he brought in here with him to the bathroom. Yuck. You dead ass?
I run this shit.
You in the fucking, you didn't run the street. What? Nigga, where did this video?
Woo! I mean, like that video was so entertaining because like nobody got hurt, nobody was attacked. It's them just screaming at this pervert who was in their bathroom. Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the comments here. Let me bring the comments back up. This gives us some color, no pun intended, some color into what happened here. I was shocked to see there are open unisex bathrooms in the Seattle airport. They need to go there. We should all donate some money and sponsor them to travel the country doing things in bathrooms nationwide. Ugh. Oh, okay. So this is not in the Seattle airport, but this person is saying there are open unisex bathrooms. I see. Because women, no matter our skin tone or background, are the only ones who can fight back against this bullshit. If men step in, broken laws will protect these perverts. Real women are done. I couldn't have said this better myself. Real women are done. I praise and respect these women to the highest degree. I do too. It really does take balls to approach a man because men are scary sometimes, especially when they're bigger than you, which most of them are. So this is the one thing I would encourage packs of women to like go scream at one of these perverts and get them the hell out of there. If women collectively did this from the very beginning, we wouldn't be here today. Grok was the man in the video ever found and charged. Yes, the man. Oh, wow. Thank you, Grok. Yes, the man depicted wearing a black Nike polo and red shirts was identified and arrested in Florida. It was in Florida for defying state law prohibiting males from entering female restrooms. Video evidence captured his open violation, leading to charges despite his claims of impunity. Such cases are underscore real privacy concerns in shared spaces beyond ideological debates. Wow, Grok, that was helpful. Ugh. Look at him, just putting his freaking shorts back on. Like he was he probably had shorts off, underpants down, and was like beating his meat to what? I don't know. To the idea that he's just in a women's bathroom. It's so great to see people actually getting it now, but someone will still say those ladies are transphobic. Oh, again, it's not like these men have stopped even trying to look like women at this point. Like they're just straight up going in there. He looks like the HVAC repairman. He's making zero effort. No, not a wig, not a stitch of lipstick. He just went in there with his 6-month supply of lube and went at it. Pepper spray him right in the eyes. He had a tube of lube and his shorts were off and he was in the spacious disabled. This is another offense. He's a dude in a women's bathroom. He's beating his meat and he's taking a handicapped bathroom away from a biologically handicapped woman. I can tell they can tell it like it is for sure. Based Shaniquas. Do you see the bottle of lotion he grabbed and tucked away real quick? Oh yeah, we all see that. Oh look, not a trans woman, because there's no such thing. And these men that have this like fetish, they have stopped even trying because they know that the laws are such that they don't even need to try. The laws have their back. Disgusting. Okay. So, right. So Buck Angel tweets that out. Buck Angel is like one of the absolute realest people on the internet. He is a trans woman himself and just understands reality. Does not want trans women to be in biological women's locker rooms. So just really a really cool, great person who was not trying to make anybody feel uncomfortable like most of these dudes are. Dude, I saw this. I wasn't shocked. I was pissed off. These are the men, the trans activists allowed into women's spaces, predators, perverts, creeps, peeping toms, rapists, sick Fs need to be fast-tracked to the wood chipper. Wow. Interesting. Women have had enough. I don't know if you saw it, but last week someone had written that there was an awful person in casualty department in the hospital. The security were called and could do nothing with the brute when a group of glass region. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Oh, this is a picture of the man. That's him. This is him. Not an effort. Like literally just it's these gay dudes that they have a fetish that they want to be treated like a woman sexually. Oftentimes, they want to be like, they don't understand what it's like to be a woman, but they think, oh, what it's like to be a woman is to just be constantly ogled and be treated like a piece of meat and be treated like a sex slave and to be like a thing, you know? And these gay dudes who have this fetish, like that's what they want for themselves. And they also, these men hate women, and like they either hate women or they get off on the power. They get off on being able to be in these spaces and make women feel uncomfortable. Yick. That is right. Okay. So let's bring up this tweet. Whoops, did that already. Oh, yes. A woman of today. A modern woman. Oh, I'll be a circle. Okay. This is, I liked this tweet from Tiffany, woman 4W. I try to explain this all the time. Black lesbian, trumped by white trans male. White girl, trumped by brown immigrant male. White trans female, trumped by black trans male. At every point of intersectionality, there exists a man whose need/desires trump yours if you are female, which is ultimately very unfeminist. And like, yeah, by the way, bullying your way into a women's space and loudly bitching and making your presence known and being aggro about it and confident. Guess what? That's a very male thing to do. That's a very masculine way to handle something. Whereas, you know how real women handle problems? We sort of slink back. We don't say anything. We put up with stuff we don't like. We tolerate it. We suck it up because that's what being a woman is about. Being uncomfortable. So much for intersectionality and DEI. White guys pretending to be women trump black lesbians. It is like DEI has come full swing back to prioritizing white dudes. I would be laughing if it wasn't so enraging. I started to write an article about this a couple of years ago, but it was just too depressing. At the top of every oppression pyramid sits a middle-aged straight man in a dress. It's diabolical, but so many people parrot the intersectionality nonsense without any critical thought. I know that wasn't the original intention of intersectionality, but it's where we've ended up. It's a numbers game. Straight white males wind up on top because they are the most beloved demographic. I don't know if they're beloved, but they are perhaps the most confident. They get the most shit accomplished. Straight men love themselves as a collective. Gay/bi men love them. Straight/bi women love them. There is no demographic with a bigger, more moneyed, more vocal fan club. Numbers simply don't lie. The majority of human beings in the West are either attracted to straight white males or aspire to be like other straight white males. There are nowhere near as many lesbians as there are gay men, and far more straight women than lesbians. I don't know if they're beloved so much as like maybe there's the most of them and they are the most like confident in getting their needs met, which is very male again. Which means your fight is misogyny, not trans. My fight is against all gross men, whether they identify as trans or not, which means misogyny. I'll assume you know the definition. However, I'll add that being militant anti-trans is going to trigger some people in ways you won't like, because the more you try to diminish them, the more they are going to make sure you don't. Yeah, because we have, given them an inch and they've taken a foot, so to speak, and standing up and declaring that the fiction they've concocted for themselves is the new truth, despite everyone having eyes and expecting the world to bend to their retarded whims, is peak misogyny. Like, hello. Yeah, very manly thing to do. It requires misogyny for a man to decide to colonize womanhood the same way it requires racism for a man to decide to colonize a country he doesn't belong to. Oh, you mean like how the Muslims are colonizing like European countries and America? So if you start bad, you're bad. Your whole group is bad. Black men were given the right to vote before white women. Racism runs deep. Sexism runs deeper in most cultures. And chances are if a man is racist against black people, he's also got dreams of a mute pregnant woman barefoot in the kitchen. Don't we all want that? Black men got the vote in 1870. Jim Crow laws meant you couldn't vote if your grandfather didn't vote. White women got the vote in 1920. Oh, cool. I think I knew that. This has been proven multiple times. Why is that? Why does intersectionality, queer theory, wokeism, cultural Marxism, third wave feminism, social justice, postmodernist Marxism repeatedly do this? Why does trans offer this movement that is more important than all the other issues? I would say nothing. It's not just trans, it's that at heart, men are centered by the majority of people. I don't think it's that. Centered by men, centered by women. No. I think it's men are very good at getting their needs met. Like perverts or not, men make their voices heard. I think men are better with confrontation than women are. They advocate for themselves better. So it makes sense that all these laws to protect trans women, men, force this stuff. Don't forget Muslim, the category that trumps all. You can't just be Muslim. You have to be violent, belligerent, jihadi adjacent, normal Muslims with jobs, communities, civic mindedness don't excite the leftist mob. Wow. See, nurse who called transgender pedo Mr. is suspended after investigation. Crazy. Like, really, these laws. Okay, this was a tweet from Ben Appel. The most troubling aspects is that it's clear she and so many others are still under the impression that all trans ID'd males are just effeminate gay guys, when in fact the majority are straight men who get off on this stuff. Okay, I think they meant to say trans women. Yeah, I think at this point most women know that it's just dudes with fetishes. So I want to get into the law a little bit more in California, and why, unfortunately, Gold's Gym and many other gyms sort of have their hands tied at this point. So I asked Grok, what is the law for allowing trans women in locker rooms in California? All these articles came up. In California law, state law explicitly protects trans individuals' right to access sex-segregated facilities, including locker rooms, based on their gender identity rather than their assigned sex at birth. This applies across various contexts, such as public accommodations, gyms, spas, businesses, workplaces, and schools. Below is a breakdown of the key laws and their implications for trans women, individuals assigned male at birth. Yeah, we all know what that is. There's the UNRRA Civil Rights Act, California Civil Code 51. This prohibits discrimination in businesses, establishments, and public accommodations based on sex, gender identity, or gender expression. It requires full and equal accommodations, advantages. Because a lot of these places, they just were like, we're not going to build a trans locker room. They don't have the space for it. They don't want to spend the money on it. So they just go, all right, it's easier to just let them in the friggin' women's room without denial based on gender identity. As a result, trans women must be allowed to use women's locker rooms in gyms, spas, or other public facilities that align with their gender identity. Businesses cannot force use of facilities mismatched with the identity. They cannot require proof of gender. They cannot exclude based on assigned sex at birth. Violations can lead to civil lawsuits for damages. These businesses do not want to pay out thousands, millions of dollars to people for this. So they just go, it's messy. Let's just let these kinky dudes do what they want. Because again, these men know these laws. And they the women in the locker room are at their mercy, and the people who work at the gym are at their mercy because they don't want to get sued. Okay, there's the Fair Employment and Housing Act, FEHA, Government Code 12900. For workplaces, this mandates that employees, including trans women, have the right to use restrooms, showers, and locker rooms corresponding to the gender identity. Employers must provide access without discrimination. All right, that has to do with workplaces more so. And cannot condition it on medical transition. So you don't have to have anything done to you to be a woman in California. And you can get fined or sued. Then there's the Education Code 221.5, school rights of trans students. Any student, K through 12, can go into whatever bathroom they want. Further requires all public schools to provide at least one gender-neutral restroom option by 2026. This supplements, not replaces, the right to use. So not only if you're a K through 12 kid, clearly going through a horrible phase where you think you're trans, not only can you use, if you're like a confused boy or girl, not only can you use the opposite gender's bathroom, but they have to have also additionally a gender neutral restroom option for you. AB 1732, all gender single occupancy restroom, effective 2017. This requires single user restrooms in businesses, public accommodations, and government buildings to be marked as all gender. Okay, so that's not necessarily like a woke company thing. Any government building has to have an all gender restroom, and it has to be labeled as such. It promotes inclusivity but doesn't override the above rights for multi-user locker rooms. These protections apply statewide and align with federal interpretations of Title IX for schools and Title VII for employment. Though California law is more explicit and protective, non-compliance can result in complaints to the ACL, the Transgender Law Center, or state agencies, potentially leading to injunctions, monetary penalties, or compensatory damages. So these companies, they just don't want to deal with the hassle, the lawsuits. They do not want to be paying out all this money to these freaks. So they just look the other way and they let it go and let it go. And, you know, we the consumers, we the women who have to share spaces with these perverts, we're the ones that get screwed over. As of November 25, these laws remain in effect without any major amendments because the transes are now they want exactly everything that lesbians and gays have, and it seems like they have even more so in terms of protections. For practical implications, for example, a gym cannot bar a transgender woman from the women's locker room, even if they have concerns about privacy. Wow. They cannot bar a man from entering the women's locker room. This is law. Accommodations like privacy screens may be suggested, but exclusion is illegal. Even if they were to put up something like a privacy screen, these dudes would just march on through it. They don't care. Wow. Disgusting. Is it like official that he won? Let's see. Viral video. Mom Dami supporter picks Cuba as top socialist nation. Oh boy. Well, he won. Ugh. Why is Long Island trending? Oh, that they think a bow is on Long Island, like in the shape of an S. Interesting. Huh. In Long Island, people say, "Oh, yeah, that's a big debate whether people go, is it in Long Island or on Long Island?" I think apparently the right way to say it is on Long Island. He won by a few percent. Now everybody's gonna give shit to Curtis Sliwa. They're gonna be hating on him for most of the week. Okay, so let's bring up this California labor law. Can I embiggen this? Embiggen. I think that's from Calvin and Hobbes. Gender discrimination on restrooms and locker rooms. Wow. Yeah, because it's under the umbrella of LGBT. So that's how they snuck it in there. And guess what else they're trying to add to the LGBT umbrella? Probably P. They want pedos to be in here. They want it to be LGBTP. Or they're going to call it LGBTM for maps. LGBTP sounds better. Oh, goodness. Most of the issues facing the LGBT community involve the trans right to public restrooms and other facilities. As of July 1st, 2017, trans people have the right to access restrooms and locker rooms that are consistent with whatever the hell they feel like that day. It's based on California's FEHA. Unfortunately, the majority of trans peoples will encounter gender discrimination, as they should. No, it's rare. The trans people that are like Buck Angel or like Blair White that just want to live their lives and not make everybody else feel uncomfortable and creep on women. Yeah, you will have if they keep you from using a restroom, you might have grounds to file a lawsuit against the party or the entity. So Gold's Gym does not want to be sued. The attorneys at the California Employee Rights Legal Group are ready to help you file a lawsuit that discriminated you. It's discrimination. I'm allowed to creep on these women and make them feel uncomfortable. Because if I don't, it's discrimination. Clarifying the meaning of transgender. You don't have to clarify. In many cases, discrimination rises from a lack of information or ignorance. Yeah. I have to be a creep towards women. It's how I express myself. Many parties who do not understand what it means to be transgender are the ones who are most discriminative. You don't understand. You don't understand what it means to be transgender. I have to jerk off in the women's bathroom. I have to jerk off in front of all these women who are trying to get dressed. That's what it means to be trans. Wow. You know, I want to go into the bathroom and jerk off just like a biological woman would. Yeah. Wow. This is insane. Are cis female individuals comfortable in using the men's restroom? Are cis male individuals comfortable in the women's restroom? No. So why are we letting born men into the women's room? Because that's the loophole. Wow. Because this is what the left does. They equate what you feel with reality. And your feelings can change day to day, hour to hour, as we all know. So it comes down to this California FEHA law, FEHA. It was recently updated to include rules regarding use of gender-specific facilities such as restrooms and locker rooms. You have the right to use the restrooms and locker rooms that correspond to your identity without having to provide any proof of gender. But they'll provide proof of their gender once they get in there. They'll have their dicks out. They'll be beating their meat. That's when they prove their gender. They wait till they're already in there. Because if I can't beat my meat in front of a bunch of women in their locker room, I'll file a lawsuit. Isn't that insane? This is where we're at. Gross. Gross. Right. As long as you have a feminine penis. Yuck. Let's see. Do I want to bring up another thing here? This might be redundant. This is on the ACLU. Let's embiggen this a little bit more. No, I don't want to block it. Visiting gyms and spas can be an essential part of maintaining physical and mental health. Remember when I had time to go to the gym? That was nice. And now I'm a mom. Can a spa or gym deny me service or exclude me from gender segregated spaces? No, because it's a civil right. The UNRRA Civil Rights Act. Wowie. And these men know this full well. That's why they can march in and out, and they don't care what any of these women think. You have the full right to use whatever you want, and they can't do shit or else. And these men know that they can sue, and the people that work there know that these men can sue. They cannot require a driver's license, a birth certificate, a court order, a medical record. Nope, they don't have to ask you to show anything. You can use whatever facility you feel most comfortable. The business does not get to choose. If a gym or a spa has a gender dress code, I've never heard of any place doing this. Have you guys, chat, have you guys ever heard of a place that does this? Do I have the right to wear clothing that is consistent with my gender identity? Yes, if a gym or spa has a gender-specific dress code, it is your right. Okay, maybe it's a spa thing. I don't know. Follow the part that is consistent with your gender identity. The business cannot dictate which dress code you follow. Businesses can better accommodate everyone by doing away with gender-specific dress codes. I am being harassed because of my gender identity. Is this legal? No, it's not legal. Businesses have a legal responsibility to prevent and address harassment by staff and other customers. Now, this guy is probably going to put in a complaint that he was harassed verbally by Tish Hyman. Very interesting. And of course, they don't want that lawsuit, so that's why they canceled her membership. Unbelievable. So now he gets to do this to some other woman. Some examples of harassment can include threats, physical touch, unwanted sexual conduct, filming someone without their consent. So it's considered harassment to film someone without their consent. Does that apply to any other group? Like, people are allowed to film in public. That's a public gym. You're allowed to film. You're allowed to film like on the street, public spaces. But if you're trans, well, filming is now harassment. Wow. And if you're a scared business owner, you would read this part. I own a gym/spa. How can I make sure it's legally compliant and welcoming to all people? Make sure your business has clear policies prohibiting gender discrimination and harassment, trans and non-binary people, specifically allowing all customers and employees to use the facilities that align with their mental illness. Train your staff on proper implementation of those policies, including how to handle and de-escalate any conflict. Yeah, the staff did not handle this. They did not de-escalate. They were scared shitless. And they banned that lady. Train your staff to not make gendered assumptions like And now we're changing the way teachers teach their classes. Like, you can't just say to your aerobics class, okay, ladies, now we're going to do this and that. No, you have to say, I don't know, guys or everyone. Probably can't say guys anymore either. Can't call anyone sir who looks like a sir. Set up your enrollment forms and computer systems so customers can specify the name and pronouns they go by. Oh, so now these businesses have to create systems to include a pronoun. This is just costing everybody money and stress. Make sure the staff use them. If your establishment has a dress code, make sure it's gender neutral or remove the dress code. Provide comprehensive gender diversity. Include, and you have to have everyone on your staff has to do a friggin' training session, preferably with trans and non-binary trainers. So you have to change your locker rooms. You have to change your software to include pronouns. You have to change the teachers that can't say ladies to their classes anymore. You have to let these creeps into the locker rooms. The employees have to do trainings, and you have to hire trans and non-binary trainers. How exhausting does that all sound? And if you don't do it, you're going to be sued. Just insane. The amount of hoops that these businesses have to jump through to appease these woke mobs. Anyway, I'm going to keep following this Tish Hyman story. I've seen her getting a lot of attention from everybody's tweets. I've seen that she has tweeted about wanting to get on the Charlemagne show. And I get it. Like, she probably just wants to do the black shows. But maybe I should try to throw my ring in the hat and try to get her on. Oh, and she does music. This is cool. Erin Elizabeth has canceled her Gold's Gym membership in LA. Very cool. Joey Swole, I've been offline for most of the day, so I don't know all the details. But supposedly at Gold's Gym in LA, a man went into the women's locker room, which made several women very uncomfortable, some saying he exposed himself to a woman. And when the confrontation said, straight women love to see dick. Yep. See, even Tish was saying that's what he said. Another woman came to the defense of these women, confronting and recording the man, saying, women have the right to not want a man in the locker room when they're naked. This also isn't the first time this man has done this or had issues with women in the women's locker room. I still need to find out more, but I believe Gold's Gym kicked out both the woman recording as well as the man. I doubt they kicked the man out. They don't want to get sued. Regardless, if true, this is absolutely disgusting. Regardless of your politics, you should support women having the right to feel safe in gym locker rooms without having to see grown men naked. Then who is this Joey Swole? CEO of Gym Positivity. He is very positive. He said, good for you for standing up for yourself and women all over that feel the same. I will DM you and happily help you find a new gym and pay for it. I know a lot of great gyms here in LA. He said, oh my God, thank you. I was so stressed out about it. Wow. Look at all these people offering their help. Aha. So here is the identity of the man who was in the locker room. Andy, no. Leave it to Andy. I have identified the trans person that Tish Hyman confronted for using the women's locker room at the Gold's Gym. Oh, it was Go's Fit? Really? I'm pretty sure it was Gold's Gym at Beverly Center in Los Angeles. His name is Grant Kyle Freeman. He goes by the name Alexis. Ms. Hyman was banned from the gym for not tolerating the man in the women's changing area. And there we go. Just making no effort whatsoever to look female. Just being a pervert is enough in 2025. Look at this. Look at this female form here. Look at this feminine physique on display. Hey. Oh my God. Really? Okay. This is what we're defending here. Just gross. Just gross. Oh, wow. He really can dig up some stuff here. Here's a video of Grant Kyle Freeman. Has a criminal record and appears to have taken his trans name Alexis from his ex-wife. Yes, he has a G. I wonder why his wife left him. Because he's a perv and a freak. Now he goes by Alexis. Yeah, why peep through the windows when you can walk right into the locker room and see it all? That's a funny shirt. His ex-wife's name is coincidentally Alexis. Yeah, they looked up his record. Oh, domestic dispute. Alexis Ray Freeman versus Grant Kyle Freeman from 2020. Termination without children. POV. AF. Taxed in costs. I don't know what the hell that means. Maybe that's like their divorce. The fee for getting divorced. Oh, here's another one. Correctional. Drug trafficking charges. Wow. Grant Freeman has multiple arrests in both Ohio and Kentucky. Charges include domestic battery and drugs. This is not a stable person we're dealing with here. This is the type of creep Gold's Gym allows to walk around where daughters, wives, and mothers take showers. Ugh. Yeah. Violent and on drugs and mentally ill. In real science, the technical name for transgender is autogynephilia. This is not gender. It's a fetish. Wow. Convicted criminal with an alias. Yikes. Well, it all kind of like goes together, doesn't it? I think we saw this video of him earlier. Oh, this is funny. Sorry, I laughed a little bit like just now. I'm a trans woman. What did he say? Something about not being able to compete with men. There it is. I feel like that sums it up beautifully. Oh my gosh, look at this. The problem is that women waited too long to complain about this kind of stuff. Yeah, I kind of agree. Gold's Gym blames the law, but it's California law, not federal, not SCOTUS. A state court forced them to let men in women's locker rooms. The other 49 states prove this isn't required. Wow, I didn't know it was just California. Oh, they also go by Angel Rising. This is gay. High Priestess, Somatic Healer, Fitness Trainer, Pisces. You could just say you're unemployed. Feel it, flourish, fly. Okay. You're a man with eyeliner. Trans women are just mansplaining what it's like to be a woman. Yep. Until next time, friends. These are funny. How can you tell I'm trans? It's a regular shark with a hammer strapped to his head. Wow. Criminal and had his pee-pee out. Ugh. Is this the same guy? I guess so. Ugh. No, you can't get rid of me for this. I am a woman. I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. Yep. This might be the same one.
What I told you to.
He assaulted me in there. Well, I guess he has a history of that, huh? He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that shit.
Shit.
All right, these are just small clips. Ew. That's just him in his undies. Gross. Who hires transgender present felons past asking for myself? This is my domain. I turned down a musical performance because they aren't cool with trans people. He responded, Trump, when I asked him if he was supportive of me transitioning from male to female. I just responded with Trump. That's great. Wow. What a creep. What a creep.